Hello.
Hello.
What's your name and what did you do today?
I'm Edoardo Masi, in-game name since years of online gaming Shadow Within. This is where I gift from my girlfriend, so I have to thank her before I get shot. So yeah, I played in the championship finals. Yesterday I placed rank 8, so I was in top 32. Today we did the top cut event and I played BlackWarGreymon, which, by the way, I didn't just jump on the bandwagon. I've been played BlackWarGreymon when it was terrible since BT8 every set. So let's just make that clear.
Good disclaimer.
Okay, so I have 5 eggs, which I recommend only if you're playing the draw Coromon. Play 4. The discussion here is between plus 1000 Coromon and the draw one. I prefer the draw one because I feel like it's important in the mirror to have plus 1000 or to have any kind of DP buff, honestly, any kind. But I have so many chances at getting one that I don't really think that the egg will solve any problems. Like, I never had a situation in which I had 0 DP boosts, so I prefer this. They can make you deck out if you don't play properly, but even then, I used to deck out myself sometimes in the beginning of testing. When you get used to it and make smart plays and know when to put aggression on the enemy, these are completely fine. And this is basically a 5th Coromon, because Greymon does literally the same thing. The only card that doesn't draw off of Greymon in this deck but draws off of Coromon is plus 1 security Greymon, which you will never attack with, so it's literally 5 of the same egg. Then I play 4 of the most mandatory rookie. This Digimon, there's no discussion about it, completely mandatory, and yeah, there's not a lot to say about it. For Agumon X, this is also completely mandatory in my opinion. You have to proc off your cool boys, search, like, not much to say about it again. 4 of the Searcher Agumon, this is not mandatory in my opinion, because if you play a consistent build like mine, where you have lots of cool boys and memory boosts and a good amount of rookies, you're not gonna search that often. Like, if I'm going to search, I'm going to probably play a cool boy or a memory boost, and it will almost always be better, except in matchups where you have to play double stack. If you play double stack, this is the only rookie that replenishes your end when you play it, except for Agumon X, but it's kind of a waste to wear the Agumon X. Not only because you lose the possibility to double draw and search off of a rookie, but also because the BT5 Greymon doesn't discount itself on top of him. I play a 13th rookie. Okay, so as I was saying, I like a 13th rookie. I usually play 12 in X Anybody decks, because you have so many searchers, you don't necessarily need more than 12. But this was a no mulligan tournament, and more importantly, I really think about the mirror while building my deck, because I know that BlackWarGreymon and WarGreymon X, which is arguably some kind of a mirror, are very popular. So I want more rookies, because the matchup is decided on the first player who gets a double stack, 1 in breeding and 1 out. Your out of breeding stack can take care of whatever the opponent plays. They need to promote from breeding to kill your outside stack, and then you promote and you win the game basically. So I want more rookies, and I also want consistency in my DP buffs, which allows me to play the draw Coromon, which is very important in many other matchups. And I went for this Agumon, which is not that funny as the other Agumons I wanted to play. I was playing the Killer Agumon, the like promo 009, which is 5 cost and kills 3000 DP or less, which was very strong with Nokia, and also was arguably a Metal Greymon in that contest, because I can just go into Agumon and kill the Agumon from my opponent, which is the same result I would obtain by playing a Metal Greymon. It's not as memory efficient, of course, but it's an on-demand destroy enemy Agumon and suddenly you're on top. but it is bricky. I decided against Nokia in the end, so I went for this. Also debating the vanilla Digimon, 2 cost 4000 DP, which was very strong in the scenario because you get 1 memory profit and it's not killable by BlackWarGreymon, so they need to have BlackWarGreymon X as well. But that's bricky too. So I decided to go for consistency. Since it's 9 rounds, no mulligan. That was the whole idea of my deck. In fact, I had to cut many more original decks, but I think the most important advice I can give is the reasoning and what cards you can cut and what cards you cannot cut. This is, for example, mandatory 4-off, in my opinion. Like, the TP boost is more like, this is insanely strong because you pay it 1, so with a memory boost you can go into Mega from Rookie. But the most important thing is also the fact that the DP boost is a better inherited effect than any other Greymons, honestly. So even if I pay 2 for this in breeding or over Agumon X, it's still the better Greymon. I also play, of course, the mandatory for Greymon X. Was debating for a one-off Greymon X from BT9, decided against it because I found that I never really needed double protection. And the slots that you can work with, in my opinion, are these two. I went for security +1 Greymon. I know lots of people want to play the black Greymon, the blocker one. In my opinion, it's completely useless because you block anyways. It's very good against X-Ross, yeah, but against everything else, you don't really need it. In the mirror, it's useless. War-X, useless. Grandis, useless. Any control type of deck, useless. It's good versus aggro decks. You still destroy them. You don't need the blocker. The blocker is only good for being missed by red memory boost and making you unable to play red memory boost. So I hate that card. So yeah, I don't play blockers, don't need them. I would play them if the meta was different, but honestly don't like them too much. Also, you need the security pressure. Lots of people play too little security pressure in this deck and they have problems with finishing the game. Even if you dominate the board, if you do 1 damage every turn after passing over 5 memory, it's gonna be rough to end the game. Then we have, I mean, this needs to be limited. Don't want to talk about this card, broken as fuck. Now that you pay 2 for it, it's insanely broken. It was good before, but now. And then I play 2-2 split of Metal X.
Wow, okay.
This is what makes a big difference, in my opinion, in not only ending games, which is, of course, because when you have a Mega, which is dominating the field and swinging for 1, 2, maybe 3 checks, being able to promote and do a double check of the breeding is very important. I can also have my Mega win the board, do 2 checks by Greymon +1 or Gaiamon or whatever, and then promote a 3 damage stack, which can make me win the game very easily. Also, the DP buff is very important in the mirror because the average BlackWarGreymon player, I feel like, plays a lot more of Yuyas and Black Metal X, so there's a common spot in which he can't be the Digivolved and as DP boost. So this makes me able to always kill the enemy stack. And I was thinking about 3-1 because honestly this is very important in the mirror too for the early turns. But with just the one-off, it was very hard to find him. And if it was in security or bottom deck, you can say goodbye to him. But with 2 and 2, I have never problems with finding either of them. Because 2 and 2, this is a semi-top end card. You have 4 cool boys to search, spoiler, and many searchers in the deck. 2 and 2, you always find them. Which is the same reasoning that applies to my Megas. 2 BlackWar, 2 BlackWar X, 2 Gaius. I feel like lots of people, lots of deck lists I've seen, mainly from an A region, worse than EU, of course, but they play less copies of BlackWarGrey. This card is insanely strong and gives you access to not rebooting your piece against Grandis, which does come up. I won a game because I specifically not rebooted my stack after killing their level 6 out, which couldn't end the game by itself, of course. And they had another breeding pile, So not rebooting didn't give them access to one memory. This is very niche scenario, but one that's important to keep in mind. BlackWarGreymon, people play way too many of this. I've seen people playing 3 and 4. That's not needed. The card is basically a Gaia Force on legs. Yeah, it's a great blocker, but you don't need more than 2, absolutely. And you can find them so easily. Like a card that is searchable by all your Agumons, Red Mambus, and Cool Boys. You don't need more than 2, honestly. Gaiamon, this is the very important card. Don't play 0, don't play 1, have 2, because this wins you the mirror. You can this always kills the enemy stack. If you promote from breeding and you have this, it's free kill. If you don't have it, like when people don't have this card or they have maybe 1, I feel it's such an incredible advantage in the mirror. So this is very important. Also, remember, push in damage. So my aggression setup is like Greymon Sec +1, Metal X Gaio. I think this is as aggressive as you can be, but you need to be that aggressive. Also because if you don't have that engine in your deck, WarX will destroy you. Like with this deck list, WarX is basically a mirror. They have slight advantage, but it's very slight. If you don't have this engine, good luck with WarGreymon, in my opinion. For Cool Boys, absolutely mandatory. Play 4 in every extended body decks, except for Grandis. Insane card. Best searcher, best memory gainer, best everything. Free extended body, never more, never less. If you play 4, it's gonna be a little bricky, maybe acceptable. 3 is more than fine. You can add them with Cool Boys, you can add them from security. So 3, you always have it. 2 is way too little. So not much to say about it. And what's next? 3 man boosts. I was playing with 2. I feel this is kind of a flex spot. Like the last 4 cards are what I could argue with changing, but as I said, consistency also very strong in the mirror, because if they choke you out with Black Metal X, which kills your Agumon out, if they put you to 1, you lost. So Red Memory Boost is the only real out to that combo, because even Cool Boy will not save you if you have a Rook in breeding. So 3 man boost, really like it. And then Hades Force. I really disliked this card. Again, people play way too many of this. It's incredible because it's kind of useless in the mirror, and against WarX, it's good versus Grandis only if you have it in security. If you're a good player, you will have it in security, of course, but I don't want to rely on that. What else is there? Axamon, completely useless. Bloom Lordmon, you win anyways. Any aggro decks, you win anyways. Control decks, I don't want to say you always win anyways. Like, this build is very not focused on beating control, but I still beat them at least 60-40. Like, I want to make every matchup good, so I don't think you need more than 1. It's a good wild card. I always see this one, like I have 1 copy, I always see it, because you need it in endgame. And by the time I drew off, like, more than half of my deck. And if I don't find it, it's probably in security, which I'm not mad with, so I'll take it. 1 Yuya, again, literally the same thing. I could make the same speech about Yuya. Cool 1 off, wins you some matchups, you probably win them anyways. Rare spots, it's good in the mirror, but usually you waste too much tempo on it, so 1 Yuya. And Yomni. I debated a lot if I wanted to have a 7th Mega. Ragnar Lordmon was also an option, insane in a control meta, but clunky at times. I was debating for Omnimon X, the attack blocker from BT5. Very good versus Grandis, but I found out after a lot of testing that I can win Grandis by just controlling their board, and they need to have a Tamer and a Hybrid to finish the game if I never let them have a piece. And that's 6 memory and 2 cards more for the combo. I can also destroy the Mimi, so I didn't want to put in my deck Omniax, which will basically be a card that I really only need in the matchup. I want consistency. If it's bad into the mirror and WarX, I don't want it. This same thing for BT10 Omni. Can be incredible at times, but this is the card that's most consistent. And swing 3 swinging once more for game is never gonna be beaten. Also, this is very synergic with my setup, with all the second plus one stuff.
Yes.
So that was my deck list.
Okay.
I really enjoyed playing. I basically played every deck that's out there. Like every game I had a different matchup. I think only BlackWarGreymon I had 2 of. My deck performed well in every game. I lost in top 8 to my dear friend Foshran, very good Spanish player. Second game, we both played well, I won. Third game, we both played well, he won. But the first game, I didn't find a rookie in like 15 cards, so I conceded by turn 3, I think, or 4. Got my Dorumon, got full jacket, so very happy with it.
Nice. Thank you very much for your profile, and safe journeys home.
Thank you.
Also, one last question she's been asking everyone. What's your favorite Digimon?
Can you see it?
I can see it, yep. You really are a BlackWarG fan.
Since BT8. No, actually since I was a little kid.
Fair. Thank you very much for your profile.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.